Hello, my name is Patrice, and today I'm going to talk about force, a very key concept of physics. And yeah, let's get started.
So, this is my definition of force. Force is basically an interaction that, when it is opposed, it will change the motion of an object. A simple example of that is when you push another person and that person is moving constantly, and then another person stops it, and that person uses its force to stop that person from moving. The formula to obtain force is mass of the object times the acceleration of the person that is going to act on that object. There are four types of forces in here. There are applied force, which is the force applied to an object, gravitational force, which is the force that pulls you down to the floor, and normal force, which is the support force exerted on an object that is in contact with another stable object. And finally, frictional force, which is the force exerted by a surface as an object moves across it or makes an effort to move across it. Next on, I'm going to show you an example of how an applied force looks like. There, I'm grabbing a plushie of, of my brother, and then I throw it into my closet door to show you how an applied force will act on a plushie or on a light object such as a plushie. Then, I'm going Next is the example of how a gravitational force acts. Here I have another plushie which is going to show you how a gravitational force acts. I'm going to let it go from a height of approximately, I don't know, 1 meter, and then I drop it to the floor. That force that acts on the plushie is called gravitational force, which basically pulls you down into the floor by means of a force that we cannot see. Now here I'm showing an example of a normal force, which is basically the force of an object that is standing in a resting motion, and another force that is acting upon it. In here I'm showing that my Wii U console is standing on top of my table setup. Then the Wii U is pushing a force into the table setup, and then the table is also acting with an upward force to balance the force that is being outputted by the Wii U. Therefore, both objects are doing the work at outputting a normal force, which basically keeps them in balance in any case an heavy object acts upon it. Now I'm going to show you an example of what a frictional force acts like. So in here I'm going to use my basketball as a sort of an example of a bowling ball traveling into a bowling lane when a person throws it down the lane. In this case, the ball is traveling on a lane that has been broken down by several persons before the person that is bowling right now. Therefore, that causes the lane to have a lot of friction, which friction impedes the ball to flow or to move smoothly through the lane without any effort. Therefore, the ball moves with a frictional force being acted upon it, and therefore making its motion a lot more harder to do. The second type of frictional force that I'm going to explain here is a sliding force, which basically explains how, uh, once again, a bowling ball that is being thrown on a bowling lane can show you that when a bowling lane has been oiled freshly and you're the first person to bowl, the ball will slide through it in a smooth function. Therefore, having a sliding force being acted upon it, helping the ball to move faster to the bowling lane. So now I'm going to talk about Newton's second law of motion, which is inertia. This law states that any object will remain in its state of motion regardless of it if it is rest or being in motion, unless it is acting upon an outside force. The formula of this law is force equals to mass times acceleration. So, this is my example of showing Newton's second law of motion. I'm going to push this object that weighs 75 kilograms, and this acceleration is going to be 3 meters per second squared. What is the force that is going to be required in order to push the object? The force required was 225 newtons.
So, thank you for watching this video. I hope you understand a little bit more of what force is, for what are the uses of force, and what is exactly force useful for. So, I hope you like this video, and I hope this video is helpful for you in a test, quiz, or anything related to physics. If you want any more videos of physics, well, I'm not the dude for it, well, but I will try. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys later. Peace.